back to our Super Science book series. I'm reading What If? Let's start. With a pencil and paper, I write and draw art to create many stories that come from my heart. But what if that pencil one day disappeared? I'd fold the paper till stories appear. And what if that paper was no longer there? I'd chisel the table and then I'd do the chair. And what if there wasn't a chair here at all? I'd chip and peel the paint from the walls. But what if there wasn't a wall anymore? I'd build a story from boards in the floor. Without any floor, I could still use the land. I'd sketch out the tail in the dirt with my hand. I could shape the leaves. I could sculpt the snow. I could still plant the flowers and make my kingdom grow. Without any land, I would still use the light, inventing shadow stories, and the sun would ignite. If there was no light, I would still use my voice to sing out many stories and chant and rejoice. I'd still have my body to twist and bend, to dance out stories from beginning to end. If I had nothing but still had my mind, there'd always be stories to seek and find. If I know nothing, one bit of fate, as long as I live, I will always create. Hi everybody, I chose to read What If? What if this happened? What if that happened? Because this girl in this book, she loves to draw and she loves art. And I think it's so cool that if you take away her pencil or her paintbrush, then she can still express herself. She can still show off her art and show that she is not afraid to use her imagination, and how your imagination is a really powerful thing. And you can use it as a living. You can use it as your life, and how the world around us would not be created without people's imagination, and how you need to show that science can always be around you if you have your imagination. There are always more discoveries to be made, and guess how those were made? By what if. People asking, what if? Random people, and just like ordinary people like you and me, not even scientists. And then later they come up with their question to the professionals and they say, what if this happened? And that's how amazing things are around us. That's how books are made, how this world, how everything is possible that is around us, because we asked what if. Hi everybody, and for your STEM challenge this week, I'm challenging you to keep asking questions. What if? What if? Keep asking what if. And like an example, in a chemistry class, what if I add more carbon dioxide? What if I add more of this chemical? What would happen? Asking your teacher, what if? What if I add this different color dye? What if I add this? What would happen? That is what keeps science going. If you want to discover something you have a question about, you can't just sit there and go, oh, well, I'll find it out someday. You got to persevere and work through the work to find out what's going on. Books is you can just sit down at a table and get lost in your own story, gain lost from reality, and going and creating your own fantasy.
And you will fall also when you're enjoying or doing something that you love. But you have to remember that you might be afraid, but you can get back up again. You can keep on going and reach for the stars.